Check, check. Anthony.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello there, gentlemen.
All right, good.
What about now?
Jeremy.
Yes? Can you hear me?
Man, get that thing up on your chin like you about to do something with it. There you go. All right.
We're going to have to adjust your volume up a little bit.
Adjust it. Bring it.
Keep talking.
Keep talking. Keep talking. I'm awesome. You're not.
Okay.
Check 2. Hello? I hear myself pretty well.
Good.
Good.
All right.
We're ready to go, folks. All right, here goes the intro.
We don't need feedback, man.
No. My bad.
All right. Hey. Whoa. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
The party's just beginning. So, tonight. Oh, what has happened? I lost all my notes. Anyway, so you finally meet the girl of your dreams. You start drinking. Sorry.
Yeah, you start drinking.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
So you finally meet the girl of your dreams. You start dating. You share an avalanche of memories and experiences. You do everything together. Drinking, partying, giggling like little schoolgirls, getting pregnant. You yell, you fight, you scream, and scramble to make it all work for the long haul. And then, all of a sudden, 2 weeks after it all began, you break up. Hear the rest of the story tonight on the Unframe of Mind Show.
You're listening to the Unframe of Mind Show, the place to have the most mind-stretching, unprotected, intellectual intercourse of your life. Your hosts battle the forces of evil by lobbing fiery balls of truth, reason, and evidence over safe room walls.
All right, and welcome back to the Unframe of Mind Show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. I am your host, Daniel Wagner.
Anthony Treywick.
All right, and today we've actually got a special guest back on the show again.
Welcome back, Jeremy.
Jeremy
Hello.
Turner. What's going on, man?
I'm good. How y'all
All
doing?
right. So the reason you're back is because, well, last time you told us some of your dating stories.
Yep.
Well, we just got the one.
Yeah. Well, okay.
We got baby teeth
We
is
got
what we
got
got.
baby teeth last time, and you told me that you got another story that you feel like the audience could benefit from having heard. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, we'll go ahead and pick a time. We'll schedule it to be on the show, and here we are. So that's coming tonight. But as usual for the beginning of the show, we want to tell you what we're offended by. So we're gonna have the Faux Business section to start the show off with.
Faux Business.
Faux Business. Faux Business. Faux Business.
All right, and tonight
That just tickles you pink, don't it?
Your voice is it's perfect.
It helps that I added like this deep echoey sound to it, so it sounds like he's in a tunnel.
Like Faux Business.
Faux business. So for those of you who don't know what a faux business is, it's a word that's completely made up. You're not going to find it in Merriam-Webster. Even, I know we did a lot of searches for words last week in Merriam-Webster, but you're not going to find it there. It's a word we made up. It's a combination of phobe, ism, and ist. And what we do is we have taken it upon ourselves to tell you how you and why you should be offended by the most mundane shit. We're going to try to beat SJWs to the punch on this. What am I looking at?
There goes. Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. It's got a slight delay.
Yeah, I see that.
All right. So on tonight's Faux Business, I'm going to we're going to tell you why you should be offended by. If I could hit the right button. Oh, well, I guess I'm going to just figure out how to get it switched over to the right screen. And there we go. All right. So we're going to tell you why you should be offended by street signs. Street signs. Does anybody know why street signs are offensive? Okay.
No.
You're telling me what to do, and I don't like that. I shouldn't have to turn right, keep right, turn left. Can't make a U-turn.
It is very aggressive, isn't it?
It is.
It is very aggressive. So this is what I came up with the other day. I was sitting there driving down the road, just kind of daydreaming, thinking to myself, and I looked here, and I saw this sign. It's sitting on top of this phallic-like pole. It looks like a dick. It's clearly a symbol of the male patriarchy. Like, I don't see any signs that are sitting on or being displayed in the form of a vagina, like, at all. I don't know about you, but I have never seen this. They're all on penises. All your street signs.
I don't think I ever would have thought that.
Well, you see, I have penis on my mind all the time, so I see them everywhere.
What about you, Jeremy? You got penis on the brain?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not
So,
currently.
and it's not just the street signs, it's actually like the stoplights too. Like, imagine a penis dangling across the street and you're hanging little dangly Christmas lights across it and just displaying your toxic masculinity across the world, just saying, look this is what I'm telling you
It
to do.
sounds like
stop, go, slow down. Sounds like a bad date night, doesn't it?
No, it sounds like a weekend at Gay Pride.
So there you go, folks. That's why you guys should be offended by street signs. Let's get back to the show. You had brought up to me something that we started practicing last show when we were on.
Dear God. I still, you guys can have this one.
No. Part of the deal was you have to do it too.
Yeah. He did say next time I come back.
You're supposed to be practicing, so you need to.
I hadn't practiced, man. I haven't had enough dick in the mouth.
I told
Lame.
I said I bet you Anthony hasn't even tried a single time since that last show.
Hey, come on now, get just a little bit. Just do a little bit.
Well, for those that are new to the show and didn't see your last episode, what are we referring to?
We're doing
a mating call for trolls.
Yeah, for trolls. Yes, exactly what it is. No, it's a mating call that me and my friends used to do in high school. So it's
Could this be the reasons why you have such a bad dating experience? I'm just wondering.
So if that's your mating
Can you
call,
imagine him doing that like during sex? Like when he's about to finish, he just goes into that voice.
You know what? I'm sitting here because it's a mating call. It's meant to attract mates, and based on the stories we've heard so far, it seems to be working really well.
No, not really, because they hadn't been working.
I say that in the most opposite of true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Has not worked out.
all right.
I can't do it because I have such a deep voice, and it's like it's not equipped to do that.
Your voice is already low, so when you try to go like super high pitched, it's like you have so much further to go than me.
My
and him
throat
do.
says, "Fuck you! I ain't doing this."
like me and Jeremy, we're already like right here. Like you're starting from down here.
I'm at kindergarten level.
This is like the ultimate inequality here. I think we should take some of our high voice and give it to you, redistribute it evenly, so everybody can have the same success in singing and voice.
Yeah,
vocal.
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'd like to hear this story. Let me make sure I got everything.
Well,
I think we're good.
before we jump into that, I gotta just ask this quick question: was this a date that was recent, or was this one that was kind of some years back?
It was a few years back.
Okay.
I haven't ever since we did the last show. I haven't been on any dates. So,
Really?
Yeah.
That tells you not to come back.
Before we do get into it, I just want to remind people who haven't been following along, I guess. We currently are not able to do live streaming on Facebook,
Right.
Our page, until the 27th of November. So you won't hear from us on our Facebook page as far as live streaming is concerned until after Thanksgiving. I'll be very thankful for that, I guess.
Yeah, obviously.
Thank you, Facebook, for letting me getting me out of timeout.
Now
Anyway,
go suck a dick.
In the meantime, we're still streaming to multiple platforms.
Yep.
We've actually got it set up through a pretty cool app called Restream.io that allows us to stream to multiple locations. All right, let me make sure I got this correct here. So, if you are interested in seeing our shows in other locations, you can find us on YouTube, Twitch, VK, Mixer, Smashcast. Looks like DLive, and currently on Jeremy Turner's Facebook page because he's so kind as to lend it to us at the moment.
I got you guys.
We can't seem to stay out of trouble.
Right.
We got to borrow other people's Facebook pages just to get it out there.
You know what's funny is my dad told me earlier. He's like, "Y'all better not get me in trouble, or y'all get me in trouble and get me knocked off too."
Well, see,
we're pimping you out.
Yeah, we wear it as a badge of honor. Like Anthony's got like 6 days on me. You know, it's like, that's bumming me out. You know, he's got his general's badge, and I'm over here still a lieutenant.
Well, no, that's not true because you start off with 24 hours, then you move up to 3 days.
Oh, you already have
7 days.
Oh, did you already have the 24-hour ban?
Yeah, I've had 24 hours. I've had 3 days. Now I just currently surf 7. So my next strike is 30 days. After 30 days, you're permanently banned on Facebook altogether. So
I didn't know.
Which I got a feeling that people are kind of gunning for me now.
Right.
They don't want to hear from me for 30 days. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, I missed some comments on Jeremy's Facebook page when I reloaded that. It doesn't bring up the old comments. So sorry if I missed those comments. I seen there was a few up there. They're probably on yours, but that's okay.
I think they were saying hello.
Yeah, they're saying hello.
Oh, okay,
Hello,
good. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything
How are you,
important.
Jeremy?
Just keep that
How you doing?
Yeah.
I am good.
right.
Good.
So let's get into it. I'm ready to hear your story that you wanted to tell. I purposely made you wait. I was like, I don't
Should we
wanna hear
go?
it.
Should we do the story first, or should we go down a list of things so we kind of it kind of gives a window into the story itself?
Well, the story doesn't go into the window of the list.
It doesn't? Okay.
Yeah, because the list is what I've come up with recently.
Oh, okay. This will be interesting.
Yeah, but this was back in the day whenever I didn't really have too many strict things that I go by.
Right.
So
I wish you would have printed this off for us so we could have a nice hand. But anyway, let's do the story first, and I think we'll spend the majority of the time on the list. Because the goal here is to figure out what is he looking for.
We're gonna get you laid again. I
Does
promise.
this woman exist, and can we find her? Is your soulmate out there?
I sure hope so.
All right.
I'm dying. All right.
I feel like he's digging at the bottom of the barrel just to get somebody to help him out with this.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord!
That being us.
Good lord! You should have heard. You should have heard the story he told at our last little get together. Oh.
Was that tacos versus humanity?
Yeah. Tacos versus or tacos against humanity.
Or against humanity. That's right.
Yeah.
What story was it? I don't remember.
Cat lady.
Oh, yeah.
So before we get into this,
That's not the one we're telling now, though.
No.
I've got just out of curiosity, I'm going to put you on the spot here if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
So the woman that was obviously here with you was just a friend, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So why no interest? Is there no physical attraction? Have you guys never thought about dating each other? Have you? And if you had, how come you guys just didn't date?
We've always just been friends when it boils
Okay.
down to it. Like I was saying before, she was one of my mom's neighbors. That's how I
Okay.
met her. So
Right.
we've just always been friends.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Nope.
But you have to network through your friends to say, hey, do you know anybody? Because
Yeah.
obviously your friends are going to know you well enough to know
Yeah.
what you're looking for. So you would hope that your friends would point you in the right direction.
Right.
Don't leave it to me and Daniel. We'll fuck you up. So
Right.
Oh,
That's okay.
that's a bummer.
All
All right, what do we got?
right. Are we going with my story?
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I'm just
So
double checking, making sure
All right. I
everybody's.
seen you have it clicking all that stuff.
Yeah,
up there.
I'm just over here. I'm kind of. I have to produce the show while we go because my daughter doesn't do it anymore. So if it seems like I'm distracted, I'm still listening, but I'm still
Okay.
trying to make
So
sure.
how far back are
we're-
we
we're
going
good
with
here.
this story? Just
Oh, this is like 10 years ago. Or
10
no,
years ago. Wow.
Yeah, maybe a little
Okay.
bit longer. It was before I got married, so 2005 maybe,
Okay.
something like that.
All right.
But it was an eventful. It was a 2-week thing.
A 2-week
legitimate-
stint,
Yeah,
yeah.
legitimate 2 weeks. All
Okay.
the stuff I'm about to tell you was within 2 weeks.
Okay, so first let's kind of go down this list of how did you guys start talking?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We I went up to a grocery store because I needed to go buy shortcakes. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I went strawberry picking.
I had to go buy shortcakes. All right.
But
We're not here to judge, I promise.
Yeah. So this girl was at the bakery and she started talking to me, which this girl is gorgeous. I'm like, I'm an ugly man. I was like, this doesn't.
Don't be so hard on yourself,
no,
man.
I mean,
Come
like,
on.
This is legit. Like, this is her and this is me right here below where the camera can see.
Is there any way you can move that to point across us the fan? Just whenever you get a chance.
Okay.
You can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Turn my volume down too low.
Oh no.
Go ahead.
Okay. She standing there talking to me and seemed like she was pretty interested, and she actually asked my phone number, which I thought it was odd because that was probably the second girl that I've ever had ask my phone number. So that was very odd for me.
Oh, she approached you then.
She approached me behind the bakery thing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as soon as she got off of work, she gave me a call and we talked for hours. And she said, well, I'm off Tuesday. Do you want to hang out? I'm like, well, I got to work. She's like, why don't you just call out of work? I'm like, okay. Because I'm like,
You're so hot. I'm
yeah,
going to call
I'm
out and
like,
lose
okay,
money
I'm
for the
like-
day.
I'm okay with that. So I ended up, I called out of work. We ended up hanging out the whole day.
Real hot.
And she was just awesome. Like, we had so much in common. We listened to the same type of music. We were both into the car scene because at the time I had a truck.
Right.
And
So basically what you're saying is calling out of work for that day was well worth it.
it was, well,
Yeah.
I thought it was worth it at the time.
In the moment you thought it was a good
Yes,
idea.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And in conversation, we were talking about how she's from Ohio. She's got 3 kids, but she was living in Mount Juliet. So she'd been in Mount Juliet for like a month, living with her aunt and
This is
uncle.
10 years ago?
Something like that.
I'm from the Mount Juliet area.
Oh, are you?
Wait,
Oh,
are
okay.
you her?
No.
Oh.
I might know this person.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
I don't remember her name. It was a long time ago.
No.
No.
You can remember all the details about it, but you can't
Dude,
remember her name.
because it
Come
was
on.
insane.
I call bullshit.
No.
I call bullshit.
I just
Probably a
this-
good defensive strategy.
Yeah. Well, I'm
you can tell me
terrible.
after the show. I mean,
Yeah. Her name was Bob. Okay.
Bob. We'll
Bob.
Go with Bob.
So
we're going to paint happy little trees.
we can. She told me she had 3 kids. She was living in Mount Juliet for a month with her aunt and uncle. And eventually we went out riding around that Tuesday, and I took her home, and I got to meet her aunt and uncle. They're cool. Like, everybody's super cool. And so the weekend was coming up, and my buddy owned a boat. And he was like, y'all want to come out in the boat? And my thought process was, this girl is gorgeous. She had an amazing body. Of course, I want her to come out because I want to see a bikini on her. So,
Who wouldn't?
I see where this is going.
You
Yeah.
pervert, you.
dude, I mean, she was hot. It was ridiculous.
Somebody's penis is leading the way.
Oh, my
from
goodness.
the beginning.
Yeah. We
He's chartering with his dick, not his mind.
That's exactly what it was. So she said, she's like, all right, let's go. And of course, she come out there with her bikini on. It was magical. It was straight up
He
magical.
couldn't fall over. His fucking pecker was keeping him up.
She
I don't need a life vest. This will keep me afloat.
so she met my friends, and everybody was like, she's like the coolest girl, man. She's so relaxed and laid back and everything.
Too good to be true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we're out riding on the boat. My buddy had broke his leg a couple weeks before, so he had his cast on. He had his leg propped up, and she was sitting in front of his leg. Well, of course, you're on a lake. You're going to hit a big bump, a wave. So he hit a big wave, and of course, we all moved within the boat. His leg was behind her, so she fell back and hit it, and she turned around and cussed him out. Like, it wasn't his fault. I mean, we legitimately hit a wave, and she just crazy. And of course, everybody's look on her face. You're just like, what the fuck just happened? Because this girl's been so cool.
like mommy just hit daddy. Or
She
Yeah.
just flipped the script,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, like daddy just hit
showing
mommy.
her her bipolar side all of a sudden just came out.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And
Kids are like, oh god.
yeah.
Daddy just hit mommy.
we ended up leaving the lake, and of course she apologized. She felt bad, and
Yeah.
so I talked to my buddy that owned the boat, and I told him about it, and he was like, it's okay, but that was fucking weird. Like, I know, I wasn't expecting that because that's the first time I've ever seen her pissed off.
Wait, so she didn't know any of these other people. She was just there.
No.
She had just met everybody.
Yeah.
only knew you, really.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so she's willing to talk to somebody like that she's never
Pretty
met.
aggressively, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
It's
insane.
like I gotta know you before I'm gonna feel comfortable to snap off at you.
Yeah.
Maybe she got too comfortable too quick. Who knows?
Yeah. Pull off some wrestling moves.
Yeah.
The microphone. Whoops.
We're gonna have to start having people sign a contract saying we're
My
not
bad.
liable for any injuries.
My cord is really short, so I have a hard time. I'm just like,
slide on up here, man.
okay, okay, that's better.
Yeah, come on.
All right,
Don't be scared.
can I keep going now?
Yeah, go
Are we
ahead.
good?
Yeah.
All right. We hung out the rest of the week. I went over to her aunt and uncle's, hung out with them. I mean, everybody's super cool. And that following weekend, this is the second weekend that we hung out. She wanted to go out, go
Anal?
downtown.
Anal?
No.
Oh.
She wanted to go downtown and hang out, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let's we'll go downtown. She wanted to go to the club. I'm like, okay, no big deal. So we went to the club, and on the way down there, mind you, this is Mount Juliet, and we had to go all the way to Nashville. So that's a pretty decent drive.
About a 30-minute drive.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In a 30-minute drive, she says, well, I got to be a little bit honest with you. I'm like, okay.
Wait, compared to what?
Oh, well, there was a bunch of stuff that just spilled out in 30 minutes. She said, now, the 3 kids that I have in Ohio? I said, yes, I do. And she said, well, they were taken from me. I'm like, well, I asked her why, and she didn't want to tell me why.
So at this point, had you even thought about maybe just saying, "Oh, there's an exit. Let's get off here. Let's
Yeah.
take you back home."
Well, I think you've seen from my story before how
You can't. You don't have the balls for this. I know.
No.
I understand that. You have to go through
Yeah,
it, which
too polite.
Yeah.
we need to get you some bigger set of balls here because you have to learn to walk away from shit.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that when you see red flags such as this, you've got to just halt the brakes here.
it gets worse than that.
This is what I'm talking about.
It gets
This is
worse.
why if you recognize the red flags, you can just put a stop to it before it gets worse.
Yeah.
And just part ways and be polite when you do it. But you, for some reason, like to, kind of dive into the drama of it all.
It's almost like, I'm already holding the toaster. Why not jump into the tub, too?
Right. It's like, fuck it, dude. I'm in the bath. Let's throw the toaster in while we're at it.
Right.
Let's see what happens. Go ahead.
All right. Then she tells me that she's 3 months pregnant.
Fuck, dude. All right.
Yeah.
Wait.
So, hang on. Back this
Like,
up.
my brakes could not have worked well enough.
Okay. So, she's got 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Taken
Lost. Okay, she wouldn't tell you why she had the kids taken from her.
Right.
You are now learning as you're going to party downtown, there's probably going to be some drinking involved, that she's pregnant.
Right.
Was nothing registering here? I mean, what the fuck, dude?
She knew I didn't drink, and she had told me after she had told me she was pregnant that she wasn't going to drink because she had quit as soon as she found out she was pregnant.
Okay.
So that made me feel a little bit
It's
more
still
calm.
weird that a woman's pregnant and going downtown and partying.
Yeah.
That's just, I don't know, that's weird to me.
Yeah, well, she wanted to go to the club and dance. That was the
or,
thing.
or pregnant and is out dating other men.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so there's a whole nother avenue of questions that you probably want to go down that rabbit hole to find out what the hell's going on.
Right.
So you got this other guy. Did you ask about that? Did she kind of provide any kind of information on what was going on? One night stand?
No. From what I take,
Okay.
my guess was the ex-husband that he got the kids taken away from him. Apparently, he got her pregnant. That was my take. But she wouldn't tell me.
My guess is you weren't thinking with your top head, so none of this even mattered to you.
No. Well, not no. But this is the worst part. She told me that stuff, and then she's like, "Well, I got something else to tell you." I'm like, "Jesus Christ, what?" She's like, "I have hepatitis C," and I'm like, "What?" And luckily, I didn't do anything with her at this point, because back then I was actually kind of a good guy. Like I didn't try to mess around or anything like that, and I was kind of scared at that point because I was afraid I was going to get hepatitis C from like giving her a hug or something because I didn't really know much about it. I didn't know.
So we're at pregnant by another man.
Yep.
She's currently dating, or I wouldn't say dating. You guys are seeing each other.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call it dating, but
No.
So you find out she's pregnant. She lost custody of her kids. She's got hepatitis C.
Yeah.
Again, was this all before you got downtown?
Yes, this is when the
I know that drive.
Yes.
I've done it before. I used to live in Mount Juliet. It's a 30-minute drive. You have several exits that you could have taken to bring this bitch home.
Out of curiosity, at what point did you decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just muscle through the rest of this night, but never again, I'm not seeing this chick?
I guess
it's getting more. It's getting there.
Okay, so I guess my next question.
You weren't even there yet?
Oh,
No. There's
Jesus
the whole rest of the story.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
in your mind, you were.
Oh.
At what point did you like say, okay, I'll just go ahead and just make it through this, but whatever this night brings, I'll just go ahead and.
I just want to know what has kept those wheels turning to push through this. Like what kept you wanting to keep going and see this night out?
I don't know. I was young and dumb. I mean, that's all I can say.
Wait, how old are you now?
Okay.
I'm 39.
You
So
were
he would've
young
been-
and dumb, 29-ish?
Well, no, it had to been earlier than that because I was 26. My ex-wife, so it was 25 is when I met this girl.
25?
Okay,
Yeah, it was
wow,
right at
so
25.
It's been a while back.
Yeah.
That's on the tail end of young and dumb, where you almost can't say I was young and dumb anymore. I think once you hit 26, it's like, okay, dude, no more excuses.
Get your shit
Right.
together.
Yeah.
We
25 might be that last little leg of the trip that you can still get away with that.
yeah. We get downtown.
We're going to give you hell, so
I
I mean,
know.
just be prepared for this.
I know. We get downtown and her.
Sorry, Jason Stone from the comment section. He said he's not a quitter.
What did he say? He said, "So you took a girl who had her kids taken away because I'm alleging it's from drug use." Yeah, that's basically. I'm sure.
Okay, so at what point of the drive to downtown Asheville from Mount Juliet, where are you guys at as she's telling you all this information? Have you made it past Brawley Parkway?
Well, I mean, it was
Donaldson Pike?
It was I was past. I mean, it had to been. I mean, it was basically as soon as we get on the interstate.
We're just barely out of Mount Juliet.
Yeah, until we get to Second
You're at
Avenue.
the old Hickory exit at this point.
Yes.
That's only a
Yeah.
5-minute drive.
Yeah.
You still got 25 minutes of drive
Oh,
plus
fuck.
the night
Okay.
to go.
Yeah.
And
So-
the drive back.
Fuck, I forgot about that. I would have been like, bitch, Uber at home.
Oh, no, there's more to it. Okay.
All right. We'll strap in. See,
Okay.
luckily, Luckily, we're
Strap
at a
in.
safe,
I feel like I need rubber gloves at this point.
Yeah, we're at a safe distance, so we're at no risk of contracting hepatitis C ourselves. So
Right.
I'm willing to listen.
Yeah, we get downtown, and her aunt calls me, and her aunt's like, "Hey, how's she doing?" I'm like, "She's fine."
Well,
And-
why did she call you and not her?
Well, she told me that, "Hey, don't leave her by herself." And I'm like, thinking, well, why? She would never tell me why, but she just
needs
said,
a babysitter.
yeah, she just said, I want to make sure that she makes it home. I'm like, okay, no problem. I mean, I wasn't planning on leaving her down there. That's not who I am.
At least not yet.
Fuck, I
Right.
would have.
Right.
I would have left her off at the Bradley Parkway exit.
We,
Take her to Dickerson Road. She
That's
would have
your-
felt right at home.
yeah, no shit, right? You can't get her pregnant. She's already pregnant.
Right.
That's your toxic masculinity speaking.
I
there,
guess
sir.
it is, man.
Yeah. We get downtown. We go up to the club. We're waiting in line, and my buddy calls me, the guy that owns the boat, and he's like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, we're in line going to the club." And he said, "We're in Nashville." I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I'm down here." I'm like, "Fuck it, come on," because she knew who he was from being out on the boat.
Right.
And so we were sitting there waiting in line, and a friend of mine coming down the road, his car broke down. And he was like, "Hey, man, can you give me a ride home?" And I asked my friend and her. I said, "Is it okay?" And my friend was like, "Fuck yeah. We're cool. We hang out." So they go into the club. I leave, take my buddy home, and I come back, and they're coming out, and she's drunk. And I'm just like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
And she's
Yeah.
pregnant.
And she's pregnant. And then my buddy didn't know. I'm like, "Dude." She was like, "Yeah, she's been drinking nonstop." And I was like, "Dude, she's fucking pregnant." He's like, "Oh, shit. Like, if I'd have known, I would have stopped her."
Mm-hmm.
And so she didn't, she was drunk. I mean, it was bad, like stumbling and everything. Of course, the whole time she's like, "I want pizza," because Sbarro's right across the street. I'm like, "All right, fuck it. Let's go over there." And my nerves are rattled. Like,
So she's impulsive as well.
right.
She has literally no filter to stop her. I see pizza, therefore I want pizza. Hey, there's beer in front of me. There's drinks in it. I want drinks. Hey, there's a dick. I want that too.
Yeah.
Talk about throwing your inhibitions out the window. Holy shit.
Inhibitions.
Yeah.
What inhibitions?
So we, at this point, my nerves are rattled. Like, I just, because I was so pissed off about it. And so my buddy, she was wanting to go inside. My buddy was going in there, and I said, "Hey man, is it cool if you just stay with her? I need to go outside. I need to stay outside and breathe because I'm just shaking. I'm pissed off." And he's like, "Yeah, that's fine. Stay out here." And we're in there for about 5 minutes, and he comes back out, and he's like, "Yeah, I think you need to stop talking to this woman." I'm like, "Why is that?" He's like, "She's in there talking to 2 dudes right now." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
I think you, at this point, probably should have seen that coming.
Yeah. Well,
she probably,
no pun
she was
intended.
probably seeing them coming right now.
Yeah.
yeah. See, I heard it.
Where's the sound machine when you need one?
Right.
At that point I was pissed. I was like, "Man, fuck it, let's go." And so I'm walking. Me and my buddy are walking, and my conscience was like, "No, I can't leave her." I already told her aunt I can't leave her.
The white knight, and you just
Yes.
here. Hi ho, silver.
So,
Here we come.
okay,
Here
so
I come to save the day.
You're having to take this broad home.
Mhm.
I'm hoping, I'm praying like hell she fell asleep in the car.
This is what happened. This is what happened. His conscience got in there, so he went to his car. He opened up his trunk. He put on his little suit of armor, and he got his little inflatable white horse out, and he fucking galloped back in there, saved the day.
Yeah,
That's
no
what
shit.
happened.
No, we got about
And
halfway.
your buddy's like, "How did you fit all that in your trunk? That was barely like."
We got about halfway, and she decides, well, or I decide, I'm like, "No, I can't leave her down here." So we go back, walk into Sbarro, and sure enough, she's talking to those 2 guys.
Yep.
And I go in there, I was like, "Hey, we need to go." And those 2 guys stepped up. Like, they were pissed. I'm like, "Dude, you don't even know what you're getting yourself into." And so we got up and we went. And of course, the whole
Wait,
time.
so they actually heard your warning and backed off?
Yeah, they backed off.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I would have heard that and been like, "Oh, bitch, I could take you."
Yeah.
like you were up here trying to put on some karate moves or some
Yeah.
shit.
Well, we go and we leave, and of course the whole time she's cussing me out. I mean, just yelling at me. She's drunk, obviously, and she was pissed.
Yeah, and not getting her way.
Right. She's
like 6.
We get all the way to my truck, and she's still, like, as we're going to her house, just cussing me out. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And eventually she stopped. I didn't say one word to her the whole time we walked into my truck, the whole way home.
You never
I
reacted.
never said anything. I just drove, didn't look at her, didn't say a damn word.
Right.
So we decide, all right, well, let's get to the house.
Boy, either you're more scared than I would be, or more patient than me. But either way, I'd have been going off. Like, bitch, you better shut your ass up. You better be lucky I made a promise to your.
Well, that's the problem was I didn't want to catch hepatitis C. You know what I'm saying? I was afraid he's up in the air or something.
Got that Lysol just spraying as she's bitching.
She's like, why are you breathing with a straw out the window? What's wrong with you?
Sorry.
He's over here.
Hepatitis C, fuck you, bitch.
We
hold on, I gotta Google something.
That's back before Google.
Oh,
man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We
Oh, you poor thing. How do we survive as a species before Google?
I don't know, man.
Or DuckDuckGo. Remember, kids, friends don't let friends Google anything.
Yep.
Continue.
Okay. We
Okay, so you finally got her home. Then,
yeah,
right?
we get
Okay.
into her driveway, and I'm like, all right, get the fuck out of my truck. And she's like,
Did you say that to her?
Yes.
Okay.
So this was the first words you've said to her the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, get the fuck out of
And
my truck.
get the fuck out of my truck. She's like, no. I'm like, no, you're getting the fuck out of my truck right now. Mind you, this is 2:00 in the morning. Okay.
Yeah.
She I'm like, she's like, no. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I get out. I went around, opened the door. I'm like, get the fuck out of my truck. It's like, no. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go knock on the door.
Did she cross her arms while she? No.
I don't remember.
I could just picture that.
Yeah.
Her just putting her feet together, crossing them arms, just. No, I'm not doing it. I'm 4.
Okay, so
I'm 4 years old.
she's being a little brat about this.
Yeah.
She's drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fetus inside
Hormones are raging
The
because she's
fetus
pregnant.
inside her is clearly more mature. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. She so I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go knock on the door. I went up to the door, knocked on it, and she come and yanked my hand. She was like, no. It's like, I don't want to wake them up. I'm like,
I would have been like, bitch, you're out of the truck. See ya.
yeah. And she wouldn't let me go. She grabbed me and she had my arm the whole time. And I'm sitting there trying to break away. But I'm not the type of person where I'm gonna hit her or push her or anything. For one, I don't hit girls. Two, she's pregnant. So that I didn't want to catch hepatitis C. So I didn't know how to get it, man.
Okay, so she obviously went inside.
No. She
No.
she
dear
grabbed my
God.
arm and I was like, I broke away and I'm like, all right, I'm going to your aunt's window. I'm going to knock on the fucking window. And so I walk around to the door.
This is the aunt that called you and.
Yes,
Okay.
that told me don't
Same-
leave her
same-
alone.
Okay.
And
And you did. You broke your promise.
Yeah. So I
You
went
should be
over to the
ashamed of
window.
you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, right.
Like this whole
She
night.
got
your fault.
hepatitis C,
Like,
man.
if
What
it-
the fuck are you doing?
Like if it wasn't for you trying to be, a friend to your friend to go give him a ride home, and you wouldn't have left her alone,
Yeah.
you'd probably still be dating this bitch right now.
I
That's
probably.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Y'all could have been happily. I'm just. Go ahead.
No. She, I was like, I started going around to the door, and she come and grabbed my arm again. And she's like, no. I'm like, no. I was like, you need to fucking go inside. And because she kept on running back to my truck and everything. And finally, she's like, don't leave me. I love you. And I was like, you don't love me. I was like, you don't even know me. Like, what the fuck is that?
That's that love you, that I love you drunk.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of, you hope it gets you out of anything and everything, but it
Right.
doesn't seem to work out that way.
Like this,
Yeah.
Now's the time. Now's the time. I love you.
Oh, it changes everything. You still got hep C, bitch.
For real.
Like as if, I mean, I'm sorry. Like as if you were just gonna say, oh, well, since you put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I was able to run to my truck, close the doors. I backed out. I mean, barreled out of the driveway, bounced. I mean, it was like I've never seen her again.
But you said this was 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was within. This is a 2-week period. All this
Was this at
happened.
the end of 2 weeks?
This is the last weekend of the 2 weeks. I met her.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't know if this was towards the front of the 2 weeks
No,
and
this
we
is
had
the-
more to go.
No. This
Or-
was
okay.
the end. It was the
This was the climactic.
yeah. This was the
scene.
climactic scene. But what's funny about the whole situation is I told the story to my friends at work. And they all were talking about Happy C. They kept calling her Happy C. Hey, how's Happy C going? That was my one friend. So I'm like, dude, don't tell anybody. He fucking told everybody. And I'm like,
How could you not?
so like the rest of the time I worked there, I was like, what's up, Happy C? I'm like, I don't have it. I promise I don't have it.
She never breathed on me. I promise.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, obviously this was pretty shitty. So, all right, so transitioning into today. So we know, obviously, the baby teeth was your more recent dating experience.
Yes.
That obviously was a complete shit show.
Yeah.
And you said that you haven't been on a date since you've done the last live show we did, or had that we had you on.
Right.
So in that time frame, you've, I guess, created a list of things that you.
Yeah. So I challenged him as part of tonight's show. I said,
Right.
listen, we need to help you. I want to help you. And we talked about this last time too. It's like, well, we need to figure out some way to do this.
Okay.
So I decided, well, if we're going to help you, we need to know what it is that you actually are looking for. Like, what are the qualities in a woman that you feel like what's the perfect woman in your mind? So I had you make a list.
Yeah.
I bet he's got that bar like way to fuck up. Here,
It is super high now. It is so bad.
Can I glimpse the list just to see?
Well, I don't want to ruin it.
No, I want to be surprised.
I'm not reading the list. I'm just kidding. Okay, so 21 items.
Well,
21
It was 20. The 21 was the 2-week relationship. I had to remind myself.
Oh, just a note.
It's
Okay,
20,
so
yeah,
20
it's 20
items
20
that
20 boxes this girl's got to check
Yeah.
to be.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got standards, but Jesus Christ, I'm not picking on you, but 20's, you've given us some thought.
I have.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
No,
Let's-
I am.
I mean,
I'm
I
just-
agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
But let's give him the benefit of the doubt and see if maybe these are legit 20.
Okay. All right.
All right, and you have to be willing to take our advice though. Are you willing to?
Yeah.
Because some
You
of that
good with
stuff,
that? Because we're gonna be brutal. I
some
mean,
of that stuff we
that's
may
fine.
be scratching off.
That's
we
fine.
might get you down to like 3, and then you'd be like, dude, okay,
All right.
we're
All
gonna check these 3. The rest are considered bonus items.
All right. So number 1 must be a biological female. Absolute. Must have a vagina, a legit vagina. Okay?
is society that fucked up where you gotta
Yeah.
actually put that in your list?
Okay,
I have to.
Or something
What's
for
the-
someone to check off. I'm starting to question the kind of people you run with,
Yeah,
dude.
what's the story behind the reason why you felt the need to put that one on there?
Right. What?
Well,
has
because
something happened?
Well, dating sites, it'll say female, and so you'll click on it and you'll start talking to the person like, hey, send me a picture, because there's no picture on their profile and it's some dude's ass. I mean, legit. Yeah.
Wait, if there's no picture, you swipe left.
Yeah, dude. You don't even fool with that shit.
Like that person's obviously very insecure about, or they're ugly as all sin. So swipe left.
I like Jamie's number 1, not batshit crazy.
yeah. From Facebook comments. Number
Yeah.
1, not batshit crazy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All right,
that's
so what's
that's
number
definitely
2?
a plus. Okay, so I think we can probably scratch that one off because I mean
yeah,
it's kind of
that's
obvious.
yeah.
Like,
you should be able to figure that out.
So you're gonna know that. The thing is, you're gonna know that before you go on the date. I would hope.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to. I feel like if you're asking a chick, hey, are you really a chick? You're already setting up some kind of like weird dynamic there.
Yeah.
So it's almost like because this list needs to be for the questions.
Well, that
you
was
find
just
out during the date.
Yeah.
Like this is how we dig a little deeper and figure out what this person's about, who she is, what she believes in. That
Right.
may not be in her profile. I hope vagina is obvious up front. So
Right.
so let's cross that one.
I don't think
Okay.
society's that fucked up just yet.
Well, it's
I mean,
getting
it's
there.
out there. It's out there.
Yeah,
Don't get me
it's
wrong,
getting there.
but
Like,
About 30 years from now, you're gonna be like, is it male, female, somewhere in between, or a artificially intelligent robot?
at this point, I'd take a robot.
Yeah,
I
I would
don't
take a
argue.
robot too, man.
All right, number 2.
All right, so technically this is number 1, but no drinking, which I've discussed with both of y'all before because I will not do
Okay,
the drinking.
I've had some time to think about this when he told me that you were going to be back on the show.
Okay.
And I don't recall asking you, but has there been like a bad experience in your life with alcohol in general as to why you won't date anybody who does drink?
My mom was alcoholic.
Okay.
That's what I mentioned last time. But being around the alcohol and seeing the lies and seeing all that, that stuff, that kind of put an impression in me. I mean, it put an image in my mind of what I don't want to go down again.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you associate every person that does drink to be, I guess, a direct reflection of your mom and things of that nature? Because I know that there's people out there that socially drink. Myself, for instance.
Right.
Daniel, for
Yeah,
instance.
Very
Yeah.
seldom. Very seldom.
I think that there's a large population of people that can be responsible when it comes to drinking and not get so, far out there with the alcohol to where they can kind of pace
that is
themselves.
interesting because that doesn't trigger you like when you're around us and just
Yeah,
we're
it
just
doesn't trigger you
sitting
when it's
around having,
us.
when we're just sitting around playing cards and
Well, there's a reason, is because I don't want to make out with a bottle of alcohol. I'm not going to be making out with y'all. I want to be making out with a chick and not have to
well,
smell
no,
and taste
but-
alcohol.
this show's over. That's the whole reason I had you over here. I was
Damn
hoping
it!
at the end that we could.
Get a couple of handies. No, I was kind of curious about that because I've dated women. I'm not a big drinker myself. I socially drink. So I have dated women that socially drink as well. They don't take it to the next extreme. They don't get belligerent when they drink. So I was just kind of curious some women prefer like a glass of wine each night. They don't drink 3 or 4 glasses or bottles. They'll just have a glass. Is that something that you're willing to kind of maybe accept?
At this point, I'm getting to, getting old, and I'm like, I just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I've
fair enough.
talked to you enough. I think that's one of your non-negotiables. I could see some reasons why, for me, that's not a great one because I think a lot of people can be responsible.
Yeah.
I think the alcoholism is the problem you have, not the alcohol.
Yeah.
And if you can somehow separate the two, I think you might be, better off. You might open up your
window of opportunity,
your pool of potential options.
Right.
If you can, because some people are responsible, they can handle it. They can, it's the addictive behavior I think that you're more needing to watch out for as far as the red flags go. Because I've experienced this myself. Is like, when you start dating an addict who's doing whatever her drug of choice is, even if they drop that one, they may tend to go for something else. So while she may not be a drinker, she might still be an addict. It just might be doing something else in its place.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you may find, what I'm saying is you may find a woman that's like, oh yeah, I don't drink. I used to be an addict. I don't mess with that
Well,
stuff
she's over here
anymore.
popping pills.
But meanwhile, she's addicted to something else, and you don't know it.
Right.
Because you're kind of cut off completely to the no drinking thing,
right?
Where you can't see the nuances to it. And I do understand the triggering behavior, and if that's an absolute non-negotiable, we'll definitely keep it on the list. That might be one of those
That's
things.
what.
And I think just based on our conversations, I think that is where you stand.
Yeah.
Again, I might disagree with it a little bit, but if that's if that's non-negotiable, let's keep it. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, it's not all right. Let me get back to it. No meth heads or crack whores.
Well,
is there a story for that? I think that falls under the same category as the alcoholism.
Well, it's the drugs. I mean, I have run into somebody that did meth, but it was one of those where you couldn't tell, but then you found out later on,
like a functioning, high functioning addict.
I would like to think that if you were dating somebody that was involved in some sort of drug, you would pick up on that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I went out on a date with a woman that I could tell something was a little off. Just seemed just kind of jittery and, just kind of looking around all the time. And if you're not a person who's an addict, you see that behavior.
Well,
it kind of stands out a little bit.
For me, it didn't, oddly enough.
Really?
Yeah. I've experienced that where it's like, I guess you see something's off, but I haven't been around it. I've never been around any addicts before, so the behaviors and the dilated pupils, for example, just little things that they do, the tweaking or whatever, I didn't even register to me. I wasn't even thinking because I'm a very trusting person, so I take a person for their word,
So does smoking weed fall in those parameters?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Is it drugs in general, or is it?
I don't really know. I hadn't really thought about that.
Because a lot of people do smoke weed now, especially with it being more normalized and legalized.
Yeah.
You're seeing a lot more of it these days. So I'm just kind of curious, does that kind of fall within that category as well?
I've never thought about that. I guess it's just because seeing addiction, if my mom having addiction to alcohol and just the whole addiction period.
Smoking weed is not really an addiction, so I can be. It depends on who you ask, but I was just kind of curious as to what your standards were when it came to drugs. So
I just I prefer not to be around it just for the fact of
we also have a daughter to consider as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to suggest here is number 1 we crossed off.
Sorry.
Number 2 and 3 kind of count as the same one. I think if you can you should recategorize that as addictive behaviors.
I was just thinking that
people who are addicts or have addictive behaviors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Have addicted behaviors and haven't gotten control of it, because there's some people that have addicted behaviors that are able to funnel that in a positive way, and they're killing it out there. They're doing great things. They're doing lots of exercise, or they're running businesses, and they may do it in an obsessive addictive kind of way, but at least it's something that's a positive thing rather than a negative.
The reason why I broke it down like that is that I found out through the dating sites you have to break it down because these people will hide shit.
Yeah, fuck dating sites.
Yeah,
I think we need to get you off of dating sites.
I know. I need to get off.
Dating sites a no-go.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, moving on.
I'm thinking after the show, I need to go ahead when I do up the podcast format. I need to go ahead and take this list of things here that we've come up with like a worksheet for the audience. What do you think?
Yeah.
Some kind of a how
we're gonna pimp you out.
A what not to do list.
Yeah.
Like this is what not to do. Oh yeah, or
pimp my Jeremy.
If you like to date Jeremy, maybe that's what it is. If you'd like to date Jeremy,
check me out, guys. I am single.
And
oh my God! Don't do that again. Please don't.
No, there's a girl for that.
Yeah, she's somewhere.
All right, so another one is no animals because I'm allergic, like highly allergic to animals.
Is that dogs, cats, or just in general?
And in general, like
can they have
snake,
a fish?
Well, yeah, fish is fine. Oh no!
Well, you're gonna have to be specific here. I mean, if I got a gerbil, is that okay?
No, the gerbil will get it too. It's legit. Like,
is it the skin? I know. Some people have the dandruff. Yeah.
Dandruff is what gets me.
Well, that's not something that's not really something that's a quality of the person necessarily.
No. It's just more, I want to make sure.
That's more like you just need to make sure to let them know up front. Hey, I'm highly allergic to animals.
Right.
If that's gonna be a problem, I totally understand.
Right.
You know, we'll go on our separate ways. You know, that's just something you need to let them know about you up front. So I'll cross that one off too. For qualities of the woman.
Well, quality. Are we going to qualities or?
Well, that's kind of what it was supposed to be, but a list of requirements for qualities.
Requirements. Okay.
You know,
well,
but we're trying to figure out like a woman should be able to hear this list and go, "Hey, that's me."
Okay. Well, we could go on to.
I want to hear them all.
Okay. Well, never mind. No children under my daughter's age.
What are we on, number 5?
Yeah, number 5.
I think that's something that is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Under your daughter's age, which is currently
11. Yeah.
Because if I'm not in a position in life to where I want to start all over, kind of like with the woman you were briefly talking about as far as being pregnant, and if I had a daughter, my daughter's 12, so I'm not in that area of where I want to start all over and start with a newborn. That's just not where I'm at. So I do understand that, you know, because I've gone, I guess, so far into my relationship with my daughter, I just kind of don't feel the need to start over, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know some people might have a hard time understanding that, but I do get what you're saying, and I'm kind of the same way. I wouldn't date anybody that has kids younger than my daughter,
I wouldn't want a young kid. Like say my youngest is 12. I'd be okay if it was somebody that was
8 or 9,
10, 9.
maybe.
I think we could swing that. So is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's about what.
Maybe within a few years of my daughter's age.
Yeah. Just put down nothing in diapers.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. No diapers. None.
So no kids under like 10 right now.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll do 10.
I mean that seems because
I mean I think that's reasonable.
If you find the perfect woman who just happens to have a 9-year-old who and then she's like, I hear this list and I'm like, oh well, my kid's a few months away from being within the range. I'm out.
I think there can be some leeway. I think there can be some leeway.
We got to find where the boundaries are for you.
Yeah.
So it's obviously a 5-year-old's probably out of the
so
question.
if it's under the age of if it's 10 years and older, I think that there should be an exception within that year. So if their daughter just turned 9, are you going to say no to that? I mean, if
everything else matches up,
as long as their child's not like unruly, I mean. If the child is bouncing off the walls and I'm just like, okay, I can't handle
there's
this
no
shit.
paring skills,
yeah,
you think,
no
at that
parenting
point?
skills.
that would be a red flag.
Yeah.
So I think,
Yeah, my last relationship, that's how it was. It was she didn't control her child.
Yeah, I have a big issue with that.
Yeah.
So
controlling your child?
No, just somebody else's child that just gets out of hand, runs off, and spouts off at the mouth and very disrespectful.
I twisted your words on purpose.
I know you did.
It was just for fun. Your daughter's a very well behaved young lady.
Yeah.
All right, so number 6.
You're supposed to say yours too, Daniel.
Well, yours are as well.
For the most part,
except for Zyler, I can hear him like 3 blocks over.
He's just so rambunctious sometimes.
He's so loud.
He thinks he's funny.
He does, and more power to him. I mean, if you think that he is,
I can't get too mad because I used to be the same way. I used to think that I was hilarious, and my parents would never laugh. Seldom they would laugh, and when they did, I was like, "Yes, I got one through the gate. I got one in the goal."
All right, so number 6, they must shower. I have ran into several situations.
Okay, so this is more of a hygiene.
Oh
thing.
my goodness, yes, they have to be
Okay, so hygiene, personal hygiene.
I just figured out I have no idea how to spell hygiene.
HYG.
Oh, it's a Y.
Yeah, HYG.
I'm not going to show you how I spelled it.
ENE, something like that.
It's
So hygiene consisting of brushing your teeth, showering every day, deodorant.
Yeah.
good hygiene.
Just
that-
you know that should be almost a given.
Well,
and if you're not,
yeah,
that kind of falls, I guess, in the parameters of meth heads, you know,
Yeah,
and crackheads.
yeah.
You're gonna know too. I mean, you could probably look right at their profile picture if you were doing the dating site thing, or
Right.
They got nappy hair
even
or
if you
something
just
like that.
interact
You
with
know,
the person face to face, you're gonna know right away. Oh, this person smells a little funky. I'm
Yeah.
good.
All right.
You wouldn't even have to worry about saying, "Hey, by the way, do you have good hygiene?"
Yeah. Excuse me. Did you take a shower today?
yeah. You can kind of tell. I mean, you can kind of tell the way they carry themselves. If they carry themselves confidently, and they're very self assured, and they smell nice. You could tell.
yeah,
Right.
the body spray, the perfume,
Right.
the makeup,
Not
that kind
not
of,
overdone, of course.
No,
Right.
not overdone. Just enough to.
Some people
you
some
smell
people
good.
some people try to cover it up.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a fish.
So
farm.
personal
I
hygiene,
got a-
yes, we're there with you on that.
I got a
Okay.
fish farm down here.
Oh God.
But it begs the question that have you actually encountered people that don't shower? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
That
I went on a
explains
date
that.
one time, and I could smell the funk from over the table,
Ooh.
and I was just like, I couldn't even eat. I'm like,
Okay.
no.
So number
Okay,
6
all
is
right.
good
All right,
hygiene.
so
All right.
we'll do
What's
number 7. Technically, it's supposed to be sexual, so like no Patrick Starfish, like boring sex kind of thing.
you gotta
Okay,
lean up on the mic
so-
when you say that.
boring.
So no,
My
you
bad.
don't, huh? Do what?
No, I was telling him.
He leaned off the mic and I didn't hear it.
Patrick
So
Starfish.
basically, you don't want somebody that's just a prude and
Yeah.
just kind of
no prude.
laying there and just,
Uh,
I'm done.
No.
Yeah.
How would you figure that out ahead of
Somebody
time?
that's just, I
without
don't know.
having to go test the
No, I mean,
kick
I
the
think
tires,
that's
so to speak.
I think that's within their in their character. Just you can tell that they're a little feisty, or they're gonna. I guess that would be public display of affection, so to speak. A lot of people. I've learned that people that aren't showing that kind, and I don't mean you got to jump each other's bones in public, but just. If they're more tentative and a
yeah,
little bit more
affectionate.
you're going to get a little bit more of that in the bedroom. So
yeah.
I've noticed
so
that
that's a good way to tell without having to actually have sex with them to then go, oh wow, this isn't going to work.
right,
That's
and-
cool. That's messed up to do that to somebody.
Well,
anyway,
and
I
I've
think.
dated somebody that was not affectionate and just very mundane, and it's just kind of like I knew right off the get-go that this was going to be not good in the bedroom, although I tried to make it better, but then it was just like, yeah, this isn't going to work for me.
Right.
I'm too spunky in the
Yeah.
bedroom. I like to explore and things of that nature. I'm sure you're probably the same way. So I would say probably look for those, I guess, behaviors and traits that if they're willing to be just a little bit more aggressive and affectionate in public, I think that kind of gives you that window into the bedroom.
Right.
If it, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, to me, at least from my experience, that's what I've noticed and that's what I picked up on.
So really, it sounds like you're looking for somebody with a little more higher energy, like
Right.
Yeah.
not somebody's just going to sit there and stare at their phone while you're trying to have a conversation.
So are we
Somebody's
kind of
gonna
like
be involved.
leaning towards sex swings would be your absolute like way out there kind of thing? I mean,
Yeah,
just
how
being
sex
kinky
swing.
or
How sexual are we talking here?
Yeah.
Like, how adventurous are? Yeah, I guess that'd be the opposite.
I mean, are you willing to take one up the butt for the team? I mean, if she's willing to throw on a strap on?
Yeah, are we talking like BDSM? Like we got you strapped up and we got like some chicken high heels kicking you in the
Yeah.
balls, or like?
Well, yeah, we got one of those chains where you drag the person around, kind of thing.
So
Oh,
role
yeah,
playing.
yeah.
Role playing.
Role
Yes.
play,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Right.
So you're into role playing.
No. I was just joking, man. No.
So something that's not like too wild way out there, but
The kind of woman that, and I'll be honest with you, and I kind of feel like I know where you're at with this. The kind of woman that you're standing in the kitchen, and all of a sudden she just wants you to take her and prop her up on the island in the kitchen, just fucking just do me right now, god damn it. You know what I'm saying? That is just like, ugh. I'm a big dude, so I don't need a step stool to kind of reach up there and get what I need. So it's like I'm gonna pound the shit out of that, right?
Yeah, I'm like throw her up there and be like, excuse me, I'll be right back. I need the little 6-inch step stool, otherwise this ain't gonna happen right now.
Is that kind of where you're just somebody that's a little?
Yeah, a little more aggressive.
Okay,
absolutely,
right. All right.
absolutely. All right, moving on. Number 8, I prefer like white women and Hispanic women. Like,
Okay, so
because I know some people they get offended. They're like, oh, well, you don't like Asian women, blah blah blah. And like, no, that's my preference. I prefer that.
which you're entitled to have that preference.
I hate that you have to say that.
Yeah.
Because that kind of seems obvious. Like, well, I just happen to be attracted to this and that. It doesn't mean I'm against the other races or other, ethnicities. It's just what I'm into. It's just what gets me excited.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here. Why not black people?
I don't know.
Women,
I mean,
culture thing,
women
or?
Specifically, I'm assuming.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
there's some that I'm attracted to, but it just, I don't know, it just hasn't really.
Okay.
I don't know.
It could be a cultural thing. I mean, just some people prefer it, some people don't.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
White Hispanic. It kind of helps narrow down the pool.
But why not Asians? I'm curious. And the one thing
I'm
found,
not into Asians either. Not
I
really.
am,
Yeah.
and the only reason why I say that I am into Asians is because Asians are very loyal people, especially the women. The women are very loyal.
I'm into
They're
their quality,
very, I think that you have a better chance of actually having a long-lasting marriage with an Asian woman than say you would American woman.
Is it
I hate to
because
say
she
that.
says shit like "love you long time" and
Love
you're
you
like,
long time.
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
But they're loyal to their husbands, and it's just
That's a cultural thing for sure.
It
too.
is.
Yeah.
It is. It
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much is a cultural thing. So that's at least my perspective.
So
on that.
before we move on much further, basically what my goal here is to take a look at this list and make sure we've narrowed it down, but we don't narrow it down so much that now we're looking for a unicorn.
yeah.
Well, one of the things is no baby teeth.
You did not.
Yeah, I did. No baby teeth.
So scratch
All
off
right.
kids menu.
No, yeah,
was,
scratch off
that, was,
kids
that,
menu.
was that number 9?
No, actually, that was like.
Oh, you skipped ahead.
Yeah, I skipped ahead.
You skipped ahead.
We could
Okay.
we could do his number 9. It's not a big deal.
What number was that one? I'm just trying to keep it organized for myself.
Number 13. Oh, that was just as a joke. It wasn't like. I mean, yeah, I don't want baby teeth, but you know what I'm saying.
Normal size teeth.
Normal size teeth.
No kids menu.
Yeah. No kids menu. I prefer somebody with a height below 5'5".
That's number 9. Number 9.
That's number 9.
So
Okay.
you prefer somebody much shorter.
Oh yeah, much shorter.
Okay, but just no baby teeth. You're
No.
kind of
Yeah.
not giving us much of a window here, Jeremy.
I know. I'm
below,
sorry,
below
man.
5'5". I'm
Yeah.
gonna say right off the bat we need to scratch that one off the list.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because quite honestly, height doesn't
Well,
really
no,
matter that
I
much.
was just saying that I prefer. It's not one of those.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, I get that preference for sure, but
Why
I
is
don't
it-
want that to be a somebody. I don't want some woman to hear this and rule herself out because
Yeah.
well, I happen to be like 6 foot tall.
Right.
How tall are you? Like 6'1", 6'2"?
6'2".
6'2". You're already a pretty tall dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could, how much does that narrow your pool down?
Oh,
if,
I know.
if you're just counting out anybody that, because there's a lot of them that are short like that. But I
Mhm.
mean, I'd hate for you to cancel out a
So
good
why-
quality woman just because her genetics didn't quite,
Yeah.
gift her with the
Right. So
proper
why
height.
the 5'5"?
That's why I'm attracted more to shorter women.
Okay.
That-
So
that's-
maybe 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah. I'm okay with something like that.
Because with the both of us, we're tall guys.
Right.
So even at 5'8", because Daniel's 5'8", and you
Mhm.
can see the contrast between him and I. No, I'm not making fun of you, but there.
Go ahead. I don't care.
No,
I know.
but you can see there's a stark difference
I am
between us and
average
height.
Okay, I am
Yeah.
average. I am an average American male height. Okay, I know this.
So
about
I would think
myself.
that let's open up that up to maybe 5'8" or 5'9". Would you be
Yeah.
willing to do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, cool.
Okay. Number 10, travel partner. I love to travel.
I think that's generally most people. I
Yeah.
think you can be a homebody,
Yeah.
but yet still want to get out and do stuff. I think the problem is a lot of people just want to sit at home and not do anything. That's I don't like that. That's a huge
that falls
turnoff.
into number 7, the high energy, not sexually boring, adventuresome. You're looking for
Yeah.
somebody who's adventuresome
Yeah.
and willing to go out there and experience new things and
Be
explore new
active, go
things
hiking,
and be
and-
curious. You're
yeah.
looking for somebody with a lot of curiosity about the world and probably
Right.
about you and themselves.
Yeah.
Is that-
Like for
is
me,
that
I
fair?
just said fuck it. I'm going to go to Niagara Falls last weekend. I mean, who does that? So
Yeah.
it's like you want to be a little bit spontaneous with your life, and that keeps things kind of interesting. I guess you can say.
Is spontaneous one.
Spontaneous? I guess it could be.
It needs to be in there.
Yeah, that definitely needs to be in
sounds
there.
I
like-
think that
sounds like
sounds like something he would want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just don't want to get caught in like this routine, boring day to day.
Ooh. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying about the sexual side is, where she's in the kitchen and she just says, fucking take me. That's being spontaneous.
Yeah.
It keeps the relationship healthy and alive. But when you're going through the motions of everyday routines, you kind of fall apart. You also become disconnected, and you and your partner just kind of go through the motions.
Right.
And I just don't see that being you.
No.
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but, so.
No. Okay. Let's see here. Number 11, prefer talk over text. That's
I'm huge on that. It's like
Yeah.
I only have to text when I absolutely have no other way of talking to you.
right.
If I'm at work, outside of that, call me. I'd much rather hear your voice. Are you the same way? Do you prefer to hear somebody's voice?
Yeah.
Because I think the problem is a lot of people get things misconstrued through text or messenger when you're trying to explain yourself. There's no of that emotional substance there to be able to understand where they're coming from. So your perception of the way somebody sent you a message may be completely different than the way they meant
it's
it.
totally missing like body language cues, vocal tonality, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Let me ask you this: when you go to these dating sites, how's the first initial contact happening?
What do you mean?
Like when you first interact with somebody,
Like, what do you say?
right?
How are
Not what you say, but what form of communication do you use?
What do you have a
It's
message?
it's texting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's messaging.
Starts out with messaging.
The problem nowadays with dating sites is there's so many crazy guys on there that are mainly trying to get with the ladies, and they'll basically just send a picture of their dick. I mean, it's
Right.
like that. And so
Yeah,
the woman
you're not, and when you're on dating sites,
I'm trying to stop doing that.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're not exactly. You're not exactly dealing with the cream of the crop in terms of humans. I don't
Right.
think. I mean, okay. So what I mean is, you're not looking when somebody's on a dating site. They're not exactly the type that's brave enough and confident enough to walk up to you and say, "Hey, hi, my name's such and such. I think you're kind of cute. Would you like to go out?" You're not going to find that necessarily on dating sites. You're
No.
going to find the people that are willing to hide behind a computer screen
Or a phone.
the anonymity of their phone screen, and they just want to type and text until they're comfortable, and then maybe they'll talk to you. Like, you're not going to find that kind of person that you're looking for.
No,
on a
I
dating
think we're
site
talking
in
after
general.
the fact. I think we're talking
Right.
beyond,
That's
the
what
first
I'm-
getting to know someone.
Right, that's what I'm getting at, is like the sources for how you're finding these people need to change, like, drastically.
Yeah.
Because dating sites are not working for you. There's another thing that we also need to make sure is when you do meet somebody, you've got to have a support group. Like, you've got to have some dudes or somebody you call and talk to and say, here's the girl I'm looking at. She's this and that and this. She has these. What do you think? Have somebody talk you through it, because you're going to have your dick blinders on the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
It's terrible.
you need somebody that's going to be able to stand to the side and say, yeah, dude, she's really hot, but listen, crazy thing one, she's this, she's that, she's that. Probably not a good idea, and you need to trust that person, that they do want the best for you, and they're going to be honest with you.
I was going to say, we could tell him that all day long, but if he's not willing to trust the advice that we're giving him, then
it's
what
two-way street.
good does that do us as friends to come to you and say, hey, here's the difference in what we're seeing. We're outsiders looking in.
Yeah.
So
It
you
could be
have
us.
to be
It
willing
could
to
be-
take that criticism and understand that we're putting our finger in your butt just to tell you to, walk straight. So, I
Wait,
mean,
that's
it's
how
just,
you get good posture?
Yeah.
You've never done that for me. I've got this slouch all the time.
So if you're willing to take criticism from your friends, and not in a bad way, it's just say, hey, have you thought about X, Y, and Z? Have you thought about, okay, something doesn't add up, questions to ask.
Yeah. You may not be able to see all angles of the field.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what you need that support group for.
Right.
Yeah.
So first rule, we're going off of dating sites. We're going to go look somewhere else. We'll figure that out.
Okay.
Rule number 2, you got to have a support group. It could be us. It could be your best friend. It could be your mom.
Right.
No, not your mom.
Nah, keep family out of it.
Yeah, not your dad. Not your mom, because they haven't done the best job of helping you out in the past so far.
Damn. He went there.
My dad's awesome.
He might be, but he hasn't had your back on this particular thing.
But I think that with family, they're biased. And I think that's
Right.
what you want to get away from is people being biased. And you want people that are just going to give you just the whole, what's the word I'm looking for? Just going to give you the facts and tell you how it is. You know?
I'm going to make a guess. I'm going to assume your dad and you get along really well because you're very similar.
Yeah, we're very close.
Okay, so what I'm saying is the way that you tend to, the stories you told us so far, it's kind of go along to get along. I'm going to push through, not very confrontational, which is okay, but also if your dad has that same characteristic and you're coming to him with this girl like, I'm really happy about this, she's this and this and this, he may not be the kind to go, well, she's also got all these negative qualities and be more confrontational to you.
No, he'll tell me, but I don't listen to him.
But you don't listen. So,
No.
See,
so
maybe that's
my problem.
your
That's my
problem.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
it's my
apologize. I apologize.
Yeah, no,
okay.
it's not him at all,
Sorry,
it's me.
I knew if I didn't like take some stabs in the dark here, we're not going to get to anything.
But that's why I said
But
leave family
that's
out of it,
something-
because we tend not to want to listen to the people that are closest to us.
Maybe
Yeah.
so you need to have somebody that you're like, yeah, no matter what you say, I know you got my back. I trust you.
Yeah.
If you say this is not a good idea, I'm done. I'm calling off right now, and we'll just save everybody some time. We'll move on to the next one.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Moving on. Let's see. Sense of humor.
That's a given.
Yeah. I don't know. That was number 12, sense of humor.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 13, baby teeth. We already saw that.
We're almost through.
Fuck,
We're almost
man.
through.
Yeah. When it comes to looks, are we doing looks too, or just going ahead?
Well, you got to be physically attracted to your
Okay,
partner.
I'm attracted to women with long hair. I love long hair.
Mhm.
I think it's fucking awesome. I'm not a big fan of short hair.
What about shoulder length?
Yeah, shoulder length's fine.
Okay, so
I'm
we
just-
know shoulder length is okay. Anything shorter than that, you're not attracted to.
No, I'm
Okay,
not.
So
Okay.
like none of those old lady boy cuts.
That to me just kind of
Lady boy
falls in the area of being kind of butch. I'm not a big fan of the short hair.
Yeah,
either.
I'm not either. I think most guys are more in line with preferring long hair. It's just there's
It's more feminine,
there's-
I
mean,
guess.
I have seen some chicks with short hair that are like, okay,
Gorgeous, yeah. They
you
can
look-
pull it off, but
yeah,
most can't.
there's
no.
a girl that I see walking around work sometimes. She's a really really tall redhead girl, and she used to have long hair, and then she got it cut short. She looks way better with it short, actually. So I mean,
To each their own, you know.
I would say that's a good jumping off point toward approaching somebody.
Right.
But I wouldn't necessarily make that a no deal kind
Right.
of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about physical
But
attributes such as?
She can always grow her hair out.
Right.
She might have had her hair long her whole life, and you just met her when she decided to try a short do.
So let's
She's
kind
playing-
of let's
you know,
kind
who
of
knows?
dive into this real quick. So physical attributes. Are we talking about like freckles? Do you like freckles?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I got freckles. So it doesn't
Okay, so
bother
you
me
like the
that.
freckles,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
The color hair, does that really matter to you?
No, I prefer more like dark colored, like brown, black kind of thing.
Okay.
I mean, I'm okay with red because obviously.
You're a ginger,
I'm a
we know.
ginger,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, all right.
right.
So, what about boobs and ass? I mean,
Oh, that was another one. Number 16.
Okay.
I call it a big booty Judy because
big booty Judy.
Big booty Judy.
Big booty Judy.
Yeah, I like big booties. But like number 15. I'm sorry we skipped, but number 15 is like I like
you're good.
women with summer dresses. I think
Oh,
summer dresses
dude.
are fucking awesome.
That is one of the biggest turn-ons for me. A
Yes.
woman in a dress.
Yeah.
This is where we're different.
Oh,
I
yeah,
prefer
I love
taller women because I'm a little bit taller than you. So a tall woman in a summer dress and heels, fuck, man. I'm just getting hard over here just thinking about that shit.
Yeah,
That is an
yeah, yeah.
absolute
There is not enough room in
turn-on.
this. There is not enough room in this studio for that kind of behavior. Like you're knocking over mic stands.
Oh my god.
Knock shit over.
Like, Anthony, God, put it away. What did I tell you about this?
No, I mean for me, that is huge.
All right,
Yeah.
what else we got?
All right. Number 17, not a coworker at all.
Yeah, no,
I've
you
dated a
don't.
coworker one time and it ended horribly. Now,
It's kind of a given, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, there's a lot of attractive women at work, but it's the just risking it.
Yeah.
I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk anything.
There's too many people that would know your situation
Right.
or kind of want to pry into your life. I'm a
Right.
private person, so I wouldn't date anybody that I work with.
So my brother Ryan's in the YouTubes. Hey Ryan,
Hi, Ryan.
What's up, Ryan?
thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Excuse the language. Not that you haven't heard that language around our house.
Right.
Number 18.
That's my little brother.
Oh.
He's a year older than Sophia.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah. I actually have one younger sister that's a year younger than Sophia. My mom has one kid younger than my youngest.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, we're gonna end our parenting career roughly at the same time.
Wow.
Dang. All right, so number 18.
18.
Religion and politics, there's no preference. I mean, it doesn't matter, you know.
I would have to I think that you can coexist with somebody from a different political background.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Where are you at spectrum-wise as far as your political background, religious views?
Political, I'm not really much in politics anyways.
Okay.
Of course, I like to put the memes on Unframed Minds, but that's just because it's funny, you know.
Yeah.
Religion, it really doesn't matter because a lot of people, they do their own thing nowadays because a lot of people, especially in the South, were raised it's the Bible Belt. They were raised in Christianity. Well, then when they got older, they decided they want to do something else. Well, I can't really judge you by your choice.
Shit, you can judge him by 18 other metrics.
Yeah,
not
well,
that
I
one.
know, but it's
Okay, so my question is, what if she is just a church-going woman? She does Bible study, Wednesday nights, and then she's going to church on Sundays, but then wants you to go. Are you willing to go, or?
It's one of those things I'd have to warm up to. Because, I mean, I am a Christian. I believe in God. But
Okay.
it's hard for me to go to church just because...
You were diddled as a young child?
What?
You were diddled as a young child?
I don't even know what that means.
He's Catholic?
You're Catholic?
No.
And the priest diddled you?
No. Oh, diddle. You're retarded, man.
I couldn't believe you didn't know what that meant. That's why I said Catholic.
I don't know what that means. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it's something you would warm up to, but you wouldn't definitely say no at some point.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
so you leave that window open, which is good to know.
Right.
Okay.
Wiccan?
Yeah. Wiccan?
Yeah.
No.
Like, no
I'm not.
witchcraft?
Oh, witchcraft?
I know you're not.
Well,
You're
no.
cool
I mean,
with, like,
I actually dated
some
a girl.
spiritual healer, like somebody that's like healing you with like stones and shit.
Oh.
Like we're doing seances in the bathroom, kitchen sink. What? Like how?
Facebook Live me when that happens.
See, 'cause just based on your reaction, you do care
Yeah.
to a point.
Yeah. No, I've dated a girl one time that was a Wiccan, and she was actually a cool person. Like I had nothing against it. It wasn't. She didn't force it upon me. That's the thing. Like if you force something upon me, I'm gonna run because I don't like that. I kind of want to have my own choice on things.
All right, so we're gonna have to give that same level of respect to the people that you're trying to date now too.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've got a long list, and we
I know.
definitely don't need to be having this long of a list.
Yeah.
So we're getting closer to the end.
I
We're getting
noticed.
close to
I
the
noticed
end.
we're getting around. Are you guys got a hard out soon?
What do you mean?
Like,
Huh?
do we need
No.
to quit soon, or
I'm okay.
I don't have to be at work until 11. So.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I just didn't want you to feel like you were rushed because it was past 8. I don't
No,
mind.
that's
I don't
cool.
mind going a little bit over.
No.
This is hugely beneficial for people who are watching, I think.
All right. Number 19, I prefer a Marvel fan. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I want somebody to talk to about Marvel stuff. I've been running into a lot of women that like DC. Don't get me wrong, DC's cool, but I like Marvel. I know it sounds ridiculous.
All right, check this out.
That's a
Check this out.
preference.
That one item you have totally.
That's
just,
going to keep you not getting laid for a long
You
time.
have narrowed
my
your
friend.
pool so
I
infinitesimally
love-
small. Like
Come
your
on.
dating pool has just become so
I
infinitesimally
said
small.
prefer. It doesn't like have to be.
Yeah, we need to know what are the
Batman versus Superman.
Yes. So this is what I'm looking. Go ahead and give me the last item.
Okay,
and then,
well, the
and I'll
last
tell you
item
what I'm
is one of
looking
those. It's like I like it's. I guess it kind of goes into with the travel partner thing because I like going to concerts and festivals and stuff.
Yeah.
Outgoing
And I've met
individual.
I've met several women that are like, oh, I like that band, but I would never go see them, or I would never go to a festival. I won't have to deal with all this, blah blah blah. And like, honestly, I kind of like doing that kind of stuff
Yeah.
as long as I got the money.
Yeah.
Like I'm traveling to Colorado in 2 weeks to go to a concert. I mean,
that's
one of my friends
that's
lives
cool.
out there, and we're gonna go to a concert out there.
That's cool.
But say that kind of deals in. I'd like to have a travel partner that likes to go to concerts.
All right, so this is what I've got so far.
Okay, go for it.
This is what I've got so far as the short list. So probably the
What's the skinny of it? Come on.
Yeah, skinny.
Okay, so I've kind of shortened the list a little bit. See if this is something we can work with. Okay, non-alcoholic or non-drinker.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
What about smoking? You didn't mention any of that.
Smoking doesn't really bother me as long as you don't blow it in my face, and as long as it's not inside the house. Like that drives me
Okay.
crazy. It's like
You didn't mention it, so I was kind of curious.
yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier. I apologize, but yeah.
Okay, so you're looking for someone who's a non-drinker.
Yeah.
Someone who has curiosity. Someone who's spontaneous.
Yep.
Adventurous. Good hygiene. Sense of humor. Long hair. Likes big butts. Cannot lie.
Yeah, that's legit.
That sounds like the American woman, man.
It is.
He loves the women in sundresses. And
Oh my goodness.
All right. Okay. So here,
I don't think it's too far out there for what he's looking for. I really don't.
No. So here's what I'm missing. Here's what I'm missing from this list, and what I noticed is painfully missing from this list.
Okay.
And this is something that you really need to put some thought into.
Okay.
I heard nothing mentioned. Hang on, before you say that, I heard nothing mentioned about parenting.
Oh yeah, I did forget to put
yeah.
that. Crap.
You do have a
because that was a
daughter,
need.
so-
Yeah.
Okay. So
That was a need. I apologize. I knew I was sitting there trying to come up with this list last night, and I.
Oh,
totally-
that's
You
fine, that's
obviously
fine.
don't want a
Yeah.
woman that doesn't have her kids.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, at the beginning of the show. So parenting, how the relationship is with their children says a lot towards the way they discipline and just the way that they're actively involved in sports and things of that nature. So.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier, is that the unruly child.
Yeah.
That really irks
Right.
me.
So this is something I need you to get into perspective here. You're already how old are you now? You're
39.
39.
Yep.
Okay, you're pretty old.
Thanks.
He's old.
I don't mean you're like an old ass man and it's over for you, but you're not 20 no more.
Right.
Okay.
You ain't no fucking spring chicken.
You don't have you can't afford to be as picky as you were when you were 20.
I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you're going to have to make some compromises in some areas. So you got to be very comfortable with where am I willing to compromise? What are the non-negotiables? We've already established the non-drinking
Right.
is a non-negotiable for you. You need to
Right.
figure out, what's the top 5 non-negotiables. Like no
Oh,
matter
geez.
what, you don't worry about it right now. You don't
Okay.
have to think about it now.
I kind of disagree on that.
Like-
I think that there should always be room or a window open for, I think, both sides to be able to negotiate something, or to at least come to terms to something.
Sure. I mean, there's a few things that I feel like he's going to just not ever going to be able to get past until.
Well, maybe that's something he needs to kind of go in therapy
Yeah,
for.
that could be something. Maybe, I don't know. It might be something to think about. It's like maybe.
And I don't mean that in a negative
that
way.
needs to be something that you need to handle with yourself. That's not really a problem with the other
Right.
person. I guess
Yeah.
I think that's. But what I did notice missing painfully from this was actual like virtues, like qualities in terms of like her character. I'm
Conversation level.
seeing a lot of personality traits. I'm
Right.
seeing a lot of physical traits. I'm seeing a lot of behavioral traits, but nothing that's like speaks to her virtues and principles. And I think that's going to be the most important thing. If you can figure out where are my virtues and principles, what are those things, you find somebody that matches with those virtues. The best.
Yeah, give me an example of what you're
Definition.
talking
Is she
about.
big on family?
Well, the best definition of love that I've heard
Yeah.
is it's your involuntary response to virtue if you are virtuous. Meaning, say if honesty is a virtue of yours, you will be attracted and you will love somebody who is an
Yes.
honest person.
Yes,
Right.
I agree with that. Honesty, for sure.
So you want somebody that's hardworking, industrious. You want somebody that's again, what's the word? Honest.
My stepmom, but if she doesn't know Marvel, she can learn. That is
That's
legit.
true.
That is legit.
That's true. She can learn.
Yeah.
And as far as the comic book stuff, like I would love to have a woman that plays Magic the Gathering with me sometimes.
Right.
But reasonably, mostly it's a guy thing.
Right, right.
If I need that from somebody, I'm gonna go play with guys.
Right.
That's
You need to have something in common with
Right.
your significant other, but you also need to have things that you're both not going to do with each other that you're not going to have in common, because that allows them to go off with their friends and kind of have a little bit of
Oh, yeah.
independence from the relationship.
Yeah,
And-
that makes sense.
Scratch that shit.
Yeah.
Scratch that shit.
So
That
that's
makes
just
Keep it simple, man, because what's going on is you're dating these girls and you're so overwhelmed with all of your requirements, trying to see what she is and how she is and does it meet, and you're so in your head and you're so in your dick that you're not really able to focus on what's important. Because if you know exactly what it is you're looking for and it's kept simple, nice, 2 or 3, 4 things that's like, I definitely need these in a woman.
Yeah.
I need her to be honest.
Yeah.
I need her to be adventurous. Those are cool. I need her to have a sense of humor. Yeah, that's great. It becomes so much easier. It stands out much more when you finally find it. You're like, yeah, we can kind of work on the other things. That's cool. I am older and I've lost a lot of patience and things. I understand that. But I would imagine she is also older and more mature and not willing to put up with certain shit either, if she's the
Right.
kind of woman you're looking for. I think at this point it's just a matter of deciding where you're going to meet these women. For example, if you like a woman that's going to go to concerts, why not meet women at concerts? Are you comfortable enough with walking up to a woman and introducing yourself.
I'm so scared.
I know. See, that's something you're just gonna have to. I mean, you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and say, you know what, fuck it. What's the worst she's gonna do? What's the worst she's gonna do? She's gonna say no.
Yeah.
Oh.
I tell you what,
No problem. Sorry.
Back when I was
move on to something else. And
right.
And hell, it's okay to not take no for an answer right away. I'm not saying rape the girl, but I'm saying, just push in a little bit more. Like, are you sure? Just.
Are you really sure?
Maybe.
Well, and here's okay.
So you put her in a headlock like this, and you say, "Listen, yes or no. No means noogie."
I feel like I'm back in 5th grade. No, I found over the course of doing a lot of charitable work, I found that I was more drawn to women who spent a lot of time in the community. They just seemed to be more genuine, had bigger hearts, and cared for others. So maybe find your niche and what you like to do, as far as when you get out and do stuff, and maybe that might kind of draw you towards the kind of people that you might have an interest in.
Right. If you're looking for certain virtues, you want to kind of go to those locations where those virtues would spell themselves out,
right.
Such as being involved in the community, having a big heart. Well, okay, that's the kind of woman I'm looking for. I'll go volunteer and do some shit. Maybe there's a chance I'll meet somebody. I'll do a lot of it, so there's even more chance I'll meet somebody.
Now, see, I'm big on family. I've got a huge family, so when I was meeting individuals through a lot of the charity work, I was learning a lot of these women had big families. They were very family oriented. They weren't the drinkers. They weren't the smokers. They weren't the druggies, because they were doing stuff within the community to help those people. Does that make sense? So they weren't a part of that problem. So it's just find your niche, man, and just kind of roll with it and see what you can turn up with. So. But don't ever feel like you can't come to us and we'll give you our honest opinion.
Sounds like a wingman.
Oh, I know. He'll give me honest opinion for sure.
Look, and that's how I treat all my friends, man. That's just,
right.
If I see you as a friend, I'm going to be honest with you. And I hope that you do the same thing. If I'm fucking up, be honest with me. Tell me. That's the only way we're going to grow, our friendship. We just talk to each other and we figure shit out.
Right.
And let's work on your confidence too, man. I mean, I'm not saying that you have a problem there, but
dude, you're an awesome dude. I love you to death. You're awesome. You're funny as hell. Like we just be talking about shit, and you just come up with some weird shit. You're like, and it's funny. It's just you got a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
You care about your daughter. You tend to care about a lot of things. Like I'm just trying to. I've never felt like you were the dishonest kind of person. That's a good thing. That's why I'm drawn to you. I'm drawn to honesty. That's foundational for me. That's my non-negotiable. Right. Okay, that is an absolute non-negotiable. If I can't trust you, I probably won't talk to you. I'm not even going to waste my time, because I can't establish a good relationship with you, and that goes for women, friends, everybody.
Well, that's one of the reasons why this show's been so well, is because we've been able to trust each other. If he does something to fuck up, he knows I'll say something, and and vice versa. It's just he can come to me and tell me, no, I don't like that. If it's something for the show. I take it as constructive criticism, come back to the table with something else, and figure it out.
As a result, we bounce ideas off. We come up with good things. If you can find somebody you could do that with, I know we're throwing a lot. We're fire hosing you now.
No, it's totally cool. I'm understanding it. Y'all are explaining it to me a lot more than a lot, the people I've talked to over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I appreciate everything y'all are, letting me come on here and giving me advice and stuff, because it is making me look more than this 20 list right here. Yeah.
There's so much more to the picture than that list that you've
for
written.
me, most of this is surface level.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're spending so much time in the surface level that you're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
Like there's a depthness to each individual that you meet. You're not going to know right off the bat what that is. But, you need to start looking at if they're family oriented. It's something we just recently discussed. How their relationship is with their parents, if they have a good relationship with their parents, if they treat them with respect, because that's going to tell you how they're going to end up treating you.
How do they treat perfect strangers?
Right. So, that door does swing both ways, and not saying that you're a bad individual. It's just, I don't know you that well, not as well as Danny knows you, but, a lot of what you do kind of shows the characteristics in which that you have. And of course, I don't know him that well, so I can't really speak on that. But, there is a lot more to this. Right. Seeing a parent, how they engage with strangers, like he just mentioned, and, and just if they have a bubbly personality, and just being there for somebody when things do get difficult. I can't spit that out. How are they with pressure? When life throws them a curveball and they lose their job, and
This is what I'm curious about.
Are they,
when you are on date number one, how much time do you spend talking about your childhoods? How much time do you spend talking about, actual important things? Because let's face it, you're wasting time talking about pretty much anything else.
Right.
Like that. Like we need to get down to
This shit or get off the pot.
Like
I mean, what are we doing here?
At your age, you're looking for more of an interview than a date.
Right.
But you don't want to make it seem like it's an interview.
Right. There's a fine line. It's a fine line, but it's more of a, really getting to know somebody. You got to know where they come from, what they're about, why do they feel the way they feel.
Yeah.
What are their politics? Their politics will tell you something about who the person is.
Yeah.
I can tell a lot about you if you tell me that you're in, you tend to be more of a left wing or more of a right wing. I can kind of suss out a lot of important principles that you might hold by just knowing that. So that might be something that might become more important to you as you start to decide what's actually more important to you in the long run.
All right.
So,
is age a factor for you? Is it younger, older?
I'm not big on younger women.
oh,
but
dude,
I'm
we talked
okay.
about this last time.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Granny porn. He's cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Granny
shit.
porn, man.
Hashtag granny porn.
Hashtag
Fuck, I
granny
forgot
porn.
about that.
Jesus, how
So
do you forget about that?
I don't know. So basically, you like knocking off the cobwebs and dust off that thing, huh? Jesus Christ! All right,
Get
well,
it out of there. Get it
All right, so I don't want to forget about the comment section here. Let's see. I want to read. Heather says from Facebook, she says, right, you shouldn't be scared. You shouldn't be scared. You are awesome. That's a huge turn on. Is confidence, not cockiness. Two different things, but confidence goes a long way. And Michael from YouTube says, got to be confident, but not too confident. Yeah, you don't want to come off as an aggressive, cocky asshole.
just hold your own in conversation.
Yeah.
Don't be a cocky individual.
comfortable in your own skin.
You can cut up and have a good time, but don't be arrogant. I mean, I'm sure you know the difference.
Yeah.
So
just comfortable in your own skin, man.
yeah, dude. I mean, just
I'm picturing like when you and I are having a conversation at work, and you're just letting loose and just being you. Just do that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no sense in trying to be anybody else,
Right.
or try to tiptoe around it.
just be the best of who you are without
That's attractive.
exaggerating
That's
it. I guess
attractive.
you can say.
A chick's gonna look
so.
at that and be like, "This dude is self-assured. He knows who he is. He knows what he wants. Like, that's attractive.
Yeah.
That's really, really attractive." So, all right, I have got nothing else at the moment until we start to move down.
I
next.
want to propose something.
Oh, okay.
I want this to continue. I want this to be another segment. I want to find a way to wire him up.
Like a periodic guest?
No.
Or are you talking like a...
I'm like, the next time he goes on a date, I want to get him wired up
Jesus.
for sound. I want to.
wired.
I want to get a hidden camera, like a little button or a lapel pin, and I
can
want
we
us
do
to
the-
go undercover. I want us to be like 3 booths over,
Yeah.
and we're having to like tell him what to say through an earpiece.
Like I said last time, you having the microphone with the satellite dish on it, kind of holding it over.
we got to communicate with you somehow.
And I look forward to going to Cheddar's too, man. That's one of my favorite restaurants.
Cheddar's.
Yeah. Let's add that as number 21. Must like cheddar.
Yes.
It's like cheddar.
That's super important.
Cheddar.
No kids menu.
So what I'm going to try to do, here's what I'm going to try to do for this particular episode. When I do the show notes, I release this as a podcast, so you guys can catch this anywhere you catch podcasts. It usually takes about 2 or 3 days after the episode to come out. But when I do that, I'm going to have it on the website. I'm going to have a list, basically a broken down list of kind of what qualities you're looking for in a woman. So still be thinking about it. Take into consideration what we talked about on the show.
We'll add
and,
it to that.
and add it, add if things you may not have thought of beforehand. Let me know, and I'll add them to the list, and we'll make sure that that's something you can use as a kind of a guide.
But get with us before you go on your next date. I'm serious. Even if we can't record anything, I kind of want to sit a couple booths over and just kind of see how that goes.
I need to bust out with a confidentiality. I'm like, I'm going to need you to sign this because I'm going to record this.
There's a waiver
3,
you need
2,
to sign.
1, boom. All right, go ahead.
You are live.
You are live.
All right, so y'all been watching another episode of the Unframe of Mind show, and it's been another uncomfortable conversation without a condom, especially for him, this guy.
Yes,
but it's been a lot of fun. I
No
really,
Hep C. We're good.
Yeah, we're
listen,
good, man.
Listen, all the things that we talk about on the show, I really think that this right here is some of the more important topics that we cover.
Beyond the political.
Yeah, the political's fun and all, but when you get into cultural and you get into like personal and you get into relationship stuff, like people can actually like take stuff away from that, and you guys can use that, and you can can apply it to your own lives, and like when we like talking politics is fun. We enjoy it, but there's only so much control you have over that universe.
Yeah.
So if you do like this kind of episode and you want to see some more, be sure to reach out to us, and maybe you got your own stories you want to tell. We'll be glad to have you on the show. We can do it remotely through Skype, so don't worry about having to be here in studio. But y'all been watching Unframe of Mind show. I'm your host, Daniel Wagner.
Anthony Trawick.
All right.
Have a good one.